Hold on, we gotta guess the parents here.
Uh-oh.
Beanie, come here, boo. Why did you close me in? Come here. Hi. Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, talk. You see the microphone? Yeah, you say hi to Uncle Malik. Say hello. Hello.
Hi.
All right.
Hi.
Yeah, you say hi.
Who you picking in the tournament?
Who you picking in the tournament, boo? You say Duke.
You got it trained up.
That's a good baby right there. I'm saying you got a good
He said,
baby
he
right
said,
there.
I've never been more proud.
If she would have said Carolina, I'd have sent her back.
You just be like, all right, take a.
Welcome to an all-new episode of the No Rules Podcast. I'm Aaron Hilton, as always, joined by my main man, Malik Smith. Malik, what up, dog?
What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm in Mansions and Benz's brother, as always. How you been, man?
You know, I can't complain, man. As usual, I'm not sleeping. That's like my main thing, you know. But
So you're a dad, is what
exactly,
you're saying, essentially.
exactly.
Okay.
Just a loving parent, but you know, I'm good, man. The sun is shining out here. You know what I'm saying? Sunny.
Birds is chirping.
Sunny days. You know, it's like 60 degrees. You know, might pull out the grill real quick. You know, before it starts to rain again up here. But you know, we're feeling good. I know. You said it down there in Hotlanta, but you know, up here.
All right. That seemed pointed and unnecessary, honestly.
I wish I was getting sunny weather like you guys are getting. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, it is a beautiful day out today. We had mentioned a little bit before we started recording. The intent for today before we recorded was for me to go on a jog. My goal is to at least be t-shirt ready by the time we head out to Mexico. And today was a step in the opposite direction for that, for sure. Because the run didn't happen. We might. I'm waiting for my fiance and my baby to get home relatively soon, and we might go on a walk as a family. But I was supposed to go on a run before this for like a mile and a half, and I just decided that eating was more important. So
The question is, what did you eat? Because if you ate good, then you could be like, hey.
nah, I ate some pot stickers.
Okay.
I ate some pot
Alright,
stickers
that's not
and
good.
chorizo. So I mean, it's not like the worst thing in the world, because it wasn't like I had like a whole bunch of bread and dough and all this other kind of shit. And I'm trying to do my best. I don't eat after 9 or before 9. So from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m., nothing but water coming
Okay.
into my body. So at the very least, because I know that I lack the discipline to get into a regular workout regimen. So like I'm trying to at least, do some things to create good habits. So
Got to trick yourself.
exactly, you know what I mean? Just try and do something productive. Even if I'm not out there sweating and burning calories that way, at least I'll let my body do the work for me,
At this age, man, listen, you got to do whatever it takes.
That's what I'm doing, man.
I feel like these days, too, people, they be pretending they at the gym, or they might be at the gym. I'm not going to take that away from some people. They might definitely be at the gym. But they got that little Ozempic, you know what I'm saying? They ain't going to
You know
tell
what I'm
you.
saying?
But they
Got that zip tucked. Got that zippy tucked.
they hit
You
a
know what I
little,
mean?
they hit a little shot.
Exactly.
Right
You know
before
what I'm
they
saying?
hit it. Yeah.
I mean, shit, somebody had to say it. We know you cheating. It's all right.
Hey,
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
there you
So,
go. Hey, it's about results.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's about
exactly.
results.
We live in a day and age, man. If we got HGH in our McDonald's, man, why can't we use a little Zemp to cut off a little bit of extra fat here and
Hit
there?
them
You
goals.
know what I mean?
Just hit them goals.
I just don't have the discipline to continue to take it. I'm already like anti-drug, so like me feeling like I have to take a pill every day or whatever the regimen is for Ozempic, I don't know. It would just bother me. I would fall off of that almost immediately, I guarantee it. And I'd end up looking like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So like I don't want no parts of that at all. Look it up, young kids, if you don't know who the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is. But off into the episode, man. March Madness has already started. The first of the game, I mean, we started off with a bang, Malik. Alabama State with that buzzer beater layup. I don't know if you had a chance to see that, but the full court pass tipped around to 3-4 different people, and then one of the players for Alabama State got control of it, put it up. So shout out to Alabama State for making it to the official first weekend of the NCAA Tournament. But I want to talk more about the big story over the weekend, especially on Selection Sunday, the Carolina Tar Heels getting selected into that field of 68 teams. They won their first 4 game against San Diego State in decisive fashion, but Do you think that validates the decision for them to get in there, or are you still a little bit skeptical about their inclusion in the tournament?
I love that this is the top story that you picked.
It has nothing to do with my fandom.
I was going to say, should we add the context for people who might not know? Should we add that context in, or are we just going to leave it out?
I mean, okay. I mean, everybody, a lot of people that know me know I am a Duke fan, for sure.
Okay.
But it doesn't, I was not the only one, nor the first one in any of my group chats to bring this up. So I know, and for a fact, it was a trending topic on Twitter, so I feel validated in bringing this up. The fact that it's leading the rundown probably has more to do with me being a Duke fan, but it is March Madness. It is a relevant newsworthy story, so I stand by it.
Well, I would also like to point out that if not for one of the worst lane violations I've ever seen in my life, I mean, just the stupidest decision Duke could have made. UNC was in that game against Duke in the ACC tournament.
Without Cooper Flagg, by the way.
Without Cooper Flagg, who we love, by the way. This is a big Cooper Flagg podcast here. Look, in college sports, I feel like people always are like, oh, I can't believe this team that is like really, really well known and everyone, they've won championships and they have this pedigree. I can't believe they were chosen to get in. Guys, I hate to break it to you, but like Alabama's going to get into that playoff, of that college football playoff. If it's between them and freaking Rutgers, sorry, I don't care how good of a season, or Indiana, whoever. Like, I don't care how good of a season you had. Like the team that has pedigree that people want to see, the North Carolinas of the world, right? Like they're going to get in. They play in the ACC. They play in a good enough conference. Like if they're on the line, they're going to get over the line. Like they're not going to get left out unless there's a better case for some other team. So, I don't think that it's the worst thing in the world. And then, yes, I do think that the fact that not only did they just win yesterday, I mean, they beat the brakes off of that team. So, I think that justifies it. You have to win to get in, not to, beat that dead horse. But they actually did win the game to get in. So I think that's a justification on it by itself. The fact that they had to play the game to get in, to me, I don't think it's like anything to be crazy about. But I'm sure there's a lot of fans of a particular team that plays very close.
Some might even say across the road.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's a reason why that was trending, but what's March without a little UNC? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I guess for me it was the fact that their athletic director Bubba Carrington is incentivized not just because he is the North Carolina athletic director, but as the chairman of the selection committee, he has a unique insight into all the teams that make it. Now, I know they say if it comes down to your team, you have to exit the room, and then everybody else, the other committee, I think it's like a committee of 13 people or something, and then he had to leave the room, so 12 people are discussing. But like, if you're the chairman and they're discussing your team, like, give me a fucking break, okay? Like, there is some influence going on there. Like, there just is. It's human. And like you said, they're a blue blood. They had a down year. A lot of it, for me, if I'm being honest, is the fact that I just loved seeing them crash and burn, and that they didn't have a good year. And there was an argument to be made that they shouldn't have made the NCAA tournament. That did make me feel a little bit good as a Duke fan, especially celebrating the kind of year that the Duke Blue Devils have had this year, which we'll talk about it a little bit. But I think, personally, this win doesn't validate that selection. I think they were just an overmatched San Diego State team. I think that at some point it does have to matter how you performed in the season. There are teams that deserve to go that didn't get a chance. West Virginia was a team. Now, they only had 19 wins, but they were dealing with their best or maybe even second best player, who happens to be the coach's son. He was out all year with an injury. Boise State is another team that comes to mind. They played in the Mountain West Championship against Colorado State, who did make it in. Those are teams that are on the outside looking in that have to play NIT games if they chose to accept the invitation. And meanwhile, Carolina, who has nothing to their credit, they lost in the semifinal against an undermanned Duke team. They had an underwhelming regular season in the ACC, which was down this year. The ACC had just as many teams in the tournament as the Mountain West does, 4. So I think this was the year to kind of make a stand and make a statement that, like, look, if you're going to be this blue blood type of team, I mean, if Duke was in this scenario too, I would feel the same way. Like, I would want Duke to make it, but I wouldn't be mad if they didn't.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I hate in college sports that there are committees that get to choose who makes it into these tournaments, into the playoffs, right? With college football, you have a committee. In college basketball, you have a committee. I understand that you have that because there's so many teams. It would be impossible for you to have a play. Like, how else would you choose unless you just pick, right? It can't just be I mean, you have the automatic bids, obviously, but at some point you'd have to pick based on the resumes. You're looking at resumes of different teams. You're trying to figure out how to balance out what these teams have done over the course of the season. But again, it doesn't surprise me when they say, like, all right, are we going to pick Boise State or are we going to pick UNC, who has players that people know, right? It's a brand that people know. I mean, and I do love the idea that, like, you have to that dude had to walk out. I remember hearing about this rule that, like, if you're picking your team, you have to walk out. It's like, I'm pretty
sure.
Hey
guys, I'm leaving the room.
I'm leaving the room.
Carolina.
Yeah. As you guys discuss my team,
he's standing outside the door with his ear on the door, like listening to what they're saying.
He's got the door cracked. He's just standing there peeking in. But like the whole validation thing, you know, when you get to March, like if UNC goes on a crazy run and they, you know, make the Elite Eight, will that validate it? And some people are going to be like, they should have never been in anyway. And some people are going to be like, oh yeah, absolutely, it validates because
some people.
Yeah, no, I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think if you feel like they're not validated after yesterday, you're never going to feel like they're validated, even if they win the championship.
Because they're not, like, there's no way to validate allowing somebody in that didn't deserve to be in, because, like, that's part of it, right? Is like things happen during the season that determine the outcome. Like, you could have a bad game, or your player could be suspended for doing something stupid, and that could have resulted in a loss, and that could hurt your overall bid. But that's part of the madness of March, is that a team like Carolina could be in the NIT, and then a team like Boise State, who is in a much lesser known conference, could be in the NCAA tournament with a chance to cut down the nets. You didn't deserve the chance to cut down the nets, and that's my point. It's not to say that Carolina is not a good team. They are a good team. And honestly speaking, if you're just talking in a vacuum, yeah, they're probably a top 68 team. Like, I'm not saying that they're not. What I'm saying is the season that they had, the tape that they put out there this season was not of the ilk of a team that deserved a chance to cut down the nets. They were given that chance unfairly. And to me, if I'm some of these other teams that are on the outside looking in, that's going to rub me the wrong way. And then especially the optics of having your athletic director be the chair, not even just in the room. He was the chairman of the selection committee. The optics just don't look good. They're never going to look good. And every win that Carolina has, in my opinion, not even just as a Duke fan, but as a college basketball fan in general, is tainted because, like, in the back of our mind, you just shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be there. That should have been a chance for a West Virginia, a guy like Javon Small, who not a lot of people know a lot about, a transfer kid, to put his name on the map. Because that's another part of this. This is a chance for some people at these smaller schools, at these lesser known schools, to put their name on the map in terms of NBA draft, or if they're looking to transfer to a bigger program, something like that. This is their chance to do that. And they didn't get that chance. And I think that I think it's bullshit, to be honest. But, you know, whatever. They won the game. They'll probably win another one this weekend because they are a good team. They just have had a shit season. But I hope they lose by 30. With that being said, putting Carolina's sorry asses in our rear view, who would be your favorite to win it all? I know you're not like the biggest college basketball fan, but if you had like to pick a team out of the field, who would be your favorite to win it all?
Me saying this is really literally just me saying like the three teams that I've watched, which is Auburn, Alabama, and Duke. Those are the only two teams that I've actually seen play. I think Auburn is probably going to be my pick. I just think they have a lot of talent. They've been killing it all year. But, you know, it's not for me. It's like it's never the best team that wins. I guess that the year that UConn won, they really just ran away with it. But like very rarely is it like the best team all season, team that finished number one.
Like in 2015, that undefeated Kentucky team loses to Wisconsin.
Yeah,
everybody would agree that Kentucky team is the best team.
Yeah.
Duke wins that national championship that year. And some would say if Kentucky would have made it, they probably would have beat Duke. It's about matchups. It's about guard play. That's actually why I can't go with Auburn. And not to mention also that they just always lose at the most inopportune moments. And yet somehow the committees and the voters like still are up their ass. I'm not going to pick Duke. I do think that they'll have a good run. I do think that they have just as good a chance as anybody to win. But what I saw from Florida this weekend in the SEC tournament gives me a lot of pause in my Duke pick going into the conference tournament season. And then you're St. Johnny's, you know, your local team. I know Rick Pitino is a controversial coach. I know. Who isn't? You know, there are a lot of old school coaches that are pretty controversial. But his team is fucking good. And that's what matters, is that your team is good. They've got the guards. R.J. Lewis Jr., very good guard, Miami transfer. They got Kadari Richmond, Seton Hall transfer. They've got Zuby Ejiofor, really good big man. versatile big man. They're tough. They play that New York brand of basketball, and every player that they have, it seems like, is versatile, is multifaceted. They can do more than one thing, and I think that promotes itself to a long run. Now, having said that, they probably lose in the first round, and I look like a fucking idiot. That's just how this goes. That's how March Madness goes.
100%. I love the Johnnies. I'm a Queens kid. I went to high school literally right next door to St. John's. We used to run on their track when I was on the track team. So, of course, I would love for St. John's to make it far. This is going to sound egregious, but I think the teams that are like the scrappiest for whatever reason, there's like a ceiling on them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's scrappy. Like it gets you to a certain level, but then after a while, it's like, okay, the teams that you're going up against when you get to a certain point in the tournament are also just as scrappy. That might not be their brand, but like they're just as physical. They're just as, so, but if St. John's even just makes a run, I think it would do numbers for New York basketball in general. We haven't had a college team really represent. I don't count Syracuse because it's not New York City.
No, that's basically Canada, honestly. You're talking about Syracuse,
which I love Syracuse. And Syracuse has had some obviously some amazing teams, some amazing players. Like New Yorkers love Syracuse. You know, it's still a New York team, but it's not the same as a team that's in the five boroughs, you know. So I would love for the Johnnies to make it all the way, but I'm gonna just pick a team that, you know, has been good all season, because I don't. My bracket is gonna be trash. Like my bracket, as usual, is gonna be toilet paper.
If you're spending more than, like, I'd say 5 minutes making your bracket, you're wasting your time. Like, there is no rhyme or reason. There is no mathematic formula to it. Even if you taken like 10, 12, 13 days to like really painstakingly select over which ones are going to move on, or who your upset pick is, and who your 3-12 upset's going to be, like, no one cares. One, it's like talking about your fantasy football team. And then two, it's all going to go to shit by the second weekend. That's just how this works.
Something's going to happen.
You want to have the least amount of wrong answers. That's the game you're playing when you're doing the bracket challenges. So just have fun. Play for minimal amounts of money if you're playing for money. But don't be putting like $100 in break. Like, that's real degenerate shit right there. That's like basically voting on, betting on high school football. You know what I mean? Like, this, like, give it a rest.
Yeah, no, the brackets don't, whatever. Betting on these games is actually a ton of fun.
Individual games, yes. I'm talking about specifically people enter like these bracket challenges, or do like bracket challenges with their like friends and all that other kind of stuff, and be like, yeah, $50 buy-in, and I'm like, are you nuts? Skill does not have a home in bracket challenges. It's not. It's just who made the right guesses, because that's what it really is. It's all guesswork, and you never know what's going to happen from game to game. You think that you know, and you don't. A Mercer ends up beating Duke in the first round of the NCAA tournament. It flips your bracket upside down because you had them reaching the Final Four. I might be speaking from experience. I don't know. But there is, you know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of things that could possibly happen, especially on this first weekend. And to that end, my biggest week one upset pick that I had, I've been going back and forth between, because Xavier and Texas play tonight. Whichever one of those teams wins, I have them beating Illinois, who is a 6 seed. And then I also have the Colorado State team, who won the Mountain West. I have them beating Memphis. I like teams with individual superstar talent. If you have the most talented player on the floor, you have a chance in these tournaments. And so that's where I'm going with my upset picks today. But what about yourself? Did you get a chance to look at any potential upset picks, or are you still kind of like perusing over?
Yeah, I'm still looking over the bracket. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. This will be fun. Like, I will just say, like, for anybody that's just getting it, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Enjoy the games.
I'm going to say this, though. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do it, because this is one of my pet peeves. You and I, we're big sports people, and you are a big college basketball guy. But I'm sure this probably annoys you to some degree as well, where people would just ask you, like, hey, who should I pick? I don't know. I actually don't know.
You know why they do that? Because they want to blame you then when you're wrong. You know? It's like, how long does the pick have to stay active in the tournament before you give me credit for giving you a good pick? Do you leave me alone if they make it to the Elite Eight? Do they have to make it to the Final Four?
Yeah.
You know, if they lose in the first weekend, are you gonna like send me a Zelle request for the $25 that you bet on the team I gave you? Like, what's the rules here?
Yeah. This don't ask me. I don't freaking know, you know. And this is that time, the next like couple weeks. It's just gonna be, you know, you're just shooting the shit at the office. People are just talking to you about college basketball teams, and you're just like, I don't know. I don't know this random white dude who hits threes. I don't know him any more than you do. He was off. He was going off last night.
I was watching the same games you was watching.
Yeah, I don't freaking know him, but yeah, he's awesome, man. He's awesome. Like,
he looked great on Thursday. I figured I'd bet on him on Saturday. That was about as much analysis I put in. It's my first time seeing him, and he looked good, so I figured he'd do it again. But yeah, man, it's all that is to say. We'll wrap up that segment with just have fun this tournament weekend. This first weekend of the NCAA tournament is always the most fun for me. Right now, it's my favorite time of the year, man. Baseball getting started, NCAA tournament in full swing. Weather starting to turn from winter to spring. This is a good time. Sundress season is upon us, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, the best. You know that is the best part of this season.
The best part.
That is the best part of this
season.
I
mean, number one. But yeah, so you had said something to the in our rundown that we have here. You had pumped something in there about Jackie Robinson and the Army apparently trying to erase his history. Go a little bit on that because I didn't really get a good chance to do a background on that.
Yeah, so the Department of Defense has been scrubbing anything that they consider to be DEI from DEI ideology from its website. Earlier this year, they tried to get rid of mention of the Tuskegee Airmen.
Like what, the 54th Regiment and stuff like that too?
They tried to get rid of a bunch of stuff. They even, this is actually, it's not funny, but it shows how ridiculous this is. They got rid of a photo of the bomb, of the plane that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. The name of the plane is called the Enola Gay. And because the word gay was in the title, they got rid of the photo, which just lets you know that they have no idea what they're doing. So today, a news story dropped that they had gotten rid of Jackie Robinson's Army story, which was posted on the Department of Defense's website. For people who don't know, Jackie Robinson served in the Army before he broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. And, you know, part of Jackie Robinson's story, he served in the Army during World War II. And there was a point where he was getting on an Army bus. They told him to go to the back. He said no. It caused a whole uproar. There was a whole investigation. He was reprimanded, but then eventually they rescinded. He had a whole trial, and they actually rescinded the reprimand that they put on him. So Jackie Robinson, even before he broke the color barrier, was, just an upstanding citizen, somebody who was fighting for racial justice in his own way. So the Department of Defense, they said in a statement, everyone at the Department of Defense loves Jackie Robinson. Hard to believe that. Right. As well as the Navajo Code Talkers, the Tuskegee Airmen, the Marines at Iwo Jima, and so many others. We salute them for their strong and, in many cases, heroic service to our country. Full stop. Again, hard to believe it. We do not view or highlight them through the prism of immutable characteristics such as race, ethnicity, or sex. We do so only by recognizing the patriotism and dedication to the warfighting mission like every other American who has worn the uniform. That amounts to a bunch of bullshit as far as I'm concerned.
Are they scrubbing the history of other war generals, like, I don't know, the first president of the United States, George Washington? Are we scrubbing all of his accomplishments and achievements?
Apparently not, because he's not black. Unless they find out that he was black.
Yeah, well, just his teeth were black, actually. So, I don't know. Maybe they'll scrub his teeth from the record. Like you said, it's a bunch of bullshit. Beyond the ridiculousness of the actual acts of what's going on, and it is a ridiculous thing that they are doing, it just shows that this administration is so laser focused on the wrong stuff. Why are you focused on that in your first 3 months in office? Why is that like one of your most important things? Like, hey, let's do all of this stuff and scrub this from the record books and from the history books and things like that. Like, there's so much more that you could be focused on as a president and as a presidential cabinet, and you're deciding that this is where you want to plant your flag. This is where you want to establish the next 4 years and what it's going to be like. And for the millions of people that voted for him, and it is disgusting to even have to say that, and not be in jest that millions of people voted for him. I just don't know what the fuck you would. Fuck you again. Like, I can't even. It is the most ridiculous thing in the world. The people that trip over themselves to give excuses as to why they voted for a man that would do something like this, and then you just every week he gives you another reason as to why he is the worst.
Yeah. No. Everything you said is on point. I should point out that apparently after all the uproar, they said that some things were deleted by mistake. So it's entirely possible that after, getting flamed about this from every corner of the internet. And shout out to Jeff Passan, by the way, who is an MLB writer for ESPN, who pointed out how ridiculous this was. I mean, Jackie Robinson's a freaking hero. Like, he's a war hero and he's a cultural hero, a sports hero. Like, there's literally like a whole day it has been named after this man.
Like the Cowboys quarterback, right? What was the Cowboys quarterback that was like a Navy general or whatever it was, or
Dak Prescott? No, I'm kidding.
No. Roger Staubach.
Yeah. I think he played for Army or Navy. One of them. I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, I think it was Navy. Yeah.
Either way, I said, they are now saying that some things were mistakenly removed, so they could try to put it back and pretend that they didn't mean to do that.
And we'll pretend that it didn't happen. Yeah. And like, let's focus on shit that actually fucking matters, because like that's just ridiculous and upsetting. Speaking of ridiculous and upsetting, Jonathan Majors, man, it right when you think it's getting better and like, hey, we're past this, and there are rumors like, hey, was Marvel trying to bring him back, or are they not? They probably weren't, but it's fun to have those rumors spread around. It's like, it shows that we're ready to move on after this trial, and then all of a sudden, boom, gets caught on tape admitting to aggressing his
Can we please talk about this? Wait. Before, I just want to read, because so the audio comes out that he was talking to his ex-girlfriend. He says, I've never aggressed a woman before. Oh no, he said, I've never been aggressive with a woman before. I never aggressed a woman before. She said, I'm not laughing at the domestic violence.
But it's just
I'm
like
laughing because this is an actual thing that was said. So she says to him, you choked me and you pushed me up against a car. He said, yeah, that falls under aggressed. It's like, nigga.
Right, yeah. What I mean? Yeah, that would be aggressive. That's what I meant when I said aggressed. Like, no, say what you did. No. And you were just in a courtroom saying you didn't do those things. So like, right. I don't understand where we're at here as a society. But like, again, it just speaks to these celebrities and things like that in Hollywood. There just has to be like a separate file for them, because the plane that they believe that they live on, where they can just say things, and because we change the terminology, it makes it better. Like, no, I don't care how you want to dress it up, whatever you want to rationalize it or say it in your brain. Choking, strangling anyone is assault. Yeah. When you do it to a partner, that is considered domestic abuse. It's just the terminology. It changes from assault to domestic abuse because it is someone who you are in a relationship with. That is the only difference. So, however you want to describe that, Jonathan Majors, if you're admitting to this on tape, then that is something that you actually did. That is something that you have to answer for. And we all want to be happy for you and be happy for Megan, who is, we had thought seemingly found love after a tumultuous relationship that she was in and marriage that she was in previously. And this is like, it just puts undue blackness, darkness, I guess, over her, because, now we're all left wondering, or at least I'm left wondering.
Yeah, you good?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
blink twice, girl.
Blink twice if you need some help. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things that you don't want to cast aspersion on somebody or assume the worst about people. But it's if you're capable of doing it once, that means you're capable of doing it. So,
I would say too, like, look, this situation, it's entirely possible that this could be the only time. Like he said, he's never been aggressive with a woman before, right? So like, maybe this is the only time this ever happened. This is just a one-off situation, and shit got crazy. They just had a toxic relationship, and this is the way that it went down. That said, like, dude, the timing. He's got a movie coming out, which I think the movie had been delayed
because of this,
right? So like they've been pushing the trailer for the movie again. Now this comes out again. Then 2 days later, according to TMZ, him and Megan Good got married in a secret ceremony. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening?
Read the room, guys. Read the room.
I don't understand what's going on over there with the Jonathan Majors PR team. But I know
someone in their team thought like, hey, put the Megan Good wedding photos out. Let's bury this. Like, no,
They'll never
you're
know.
not going to be able to bury it.
Yeah,
like,
no,
this is something that was a big trial.
Yeah.
It was like, it caused it changed the whole MCU. Honestly, this whole thing. You know what I mean? For whatever that's worth, obviously there are real victims in this situation. I don't want to make light of that, but like, this is something that spread itself into the pop culture lexicon in more ways than one, and it just seems to be getting worse for this dude. To answer your question in our rundown, is he cooked? Yeah, I would say that he's pretty well cooked.
Yeah.
Not from a career standpoint, because I do think, maybe there'll be an opportunity for him to make some other movies in the future, or some independent movies or whatever it is. There are people that have moved on from this. I mean, you saw Chris Brown. He just won, a Grammy for, R&B Album of the Year, and he deserved it. And he's had a great musical career, despite the things that he did in his youth and in his past and how ugly those things were. He did do them, but he deserves the right to be able to move past them and grow past them. And, Jonathan Majors being in a different part of his life when he had his transgressions, obviously, it remains to be seen how the public will digest this over time. But I don't want to completely bury him. But as far as like mainstream is concerned, I would like to believe that this is probably pretty much it for Mr. Majors.
Yeah, it's a tough hill to climb.
It is. Some quick hitters here. LeBron James and his fans are back at it again. They're in the stew, Malik. They're in the stew. A couple of tracks came out, or maybe snippets of tracks. I don't know if it was the full track. We didn't really get a full track, I don't think, but we got a couple like minute and a half, 2-minute snippets from two different accounts on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I'm not gonna lie. The first song was blasphemous because they used Man in the Mirror, so like it was funny, but it's like, come on. That was like a typical spoof song. But the second song, the beat was too good for the material that was used.
Hey.
It was a good beat. Dude was harmonizing in there. It sounded good, man.
He was
Put it on Apple Music.
He was floating on that thing, boy.
He was going through it.
LeBron James. He was floating. He was floating on that thing.
He was getting to it, man. Like, and that's along with my lack of athleticism or like elite skills for the NBA. I couldn't be in an NBA locker room because of shit like this. Because so like in pregame warm-ups, they let you like pick songs and stuff like that. Like when it's your turn to shoot, the DJ will play like one or two of the songs that you chose when you come out and want to shoot. It's kind of like, an enhanced version of walking around with your AirPods in.
Yeah, get you hyped up.
Exactly. That would be my song. The LeBron song. If I'm on the Lakers, like that's my song. Every time I play the Lakers or if I'm on the team, like that's my song. I'm listening to the LeBron song.
You got like a 10-day contract. It's like, yo, DJ, pull my music up.
Put that LeBron song up. To the point of annoyance. Like LeBron would definitely get me up out of there real quickly.
It's like Bron's not even playing tonight, dude. Like, why are we?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. It's totally worth it. That shit is funny.
Yeah.
I'm always here for fans doing crazy fan stuff when it's fun like this. So
listen, I think they call them bronsexuals. This definitely is not helping.
Wait a minute, they call them
when you make a sultry R&B track.
They call them bronsexuals. Where the fuck did you get this name?
People who don't like LeBron James or the people who are fans of LeBron James call LeBron James fans bronsexuals because they feel like they're, as the kids say, glazing. They feel like they're glazing LeBron James as opposed to just putting him in the proper context. I don't subscribe to these terms as a LeBron James fan. I'm not a bronsexual. You know what I'm saying? I just think he's a good basketball player.
That's not how you identify?
I don't identify.
Those aren't your pronouns? LeBron / James?
But I will say, man, like, fans are funny. That's all I'll say. His fans are really funny. And I feel like LeBron is what he is at this point, right? Like, he's so in the jokes about himself. He never reads a book, that he invented the deluxe CD. You know what I'm saying? The LeBron James jokes are so like built into his like online presence that is great. But the fact that people have been able to take LeBron James and just turn him into songs randomly, I think it's pretty impressive, especially when the songs are good.
Yeah, creativity gets a 10 out of 10 for me.
Absolutely.
The execution for the second song, at least, 9 out of 10. First song, I can't abide a Michael Jackson Man in the Mirror reference, so I'm gonna give that a 3 out of 10.
Yeah. But
the song number 2, I'm dead ass serious. Put that on Apple Music because I'm listening to it. That shit was hard.
That's going in the car. That's definitely going
100%,
in the car.
100%. That's definitely going on the playlist. Our next quick hitter here. So this past weekend, and shout out to my fiance, it was her last birthday of her 20s, her 29th birthday. So it got me thinking a little bit. What's like the number one thing that you miss about your 20s?
Oh my gosh, it's really hard to pick one thing.
Okay, well,
Um,
give me a couple.
my ability to be outside all the time.
I think
Like,
that's high on the list for a lot of us.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The ability to just be outside all the time. I mean, I was like, oh yeah, what 3 a.m. It's a Wednesday. I got work tomorrow. Like, who cares? Like, let's go to another bar. We're doing it.
All right.
Yeah, my tolerance was higher. Just everything. But I mean, I think I would say this. The biggest thing is like, I think when you're in your 20s, you still feel like everything is just like going up. You know what I'm saying? By mid 30s, it's not that everything is like somehow going down. But I do feel like once you hit your mid 30s, you feel like those things that were like were probably never going to do anyway in life. In your 20s, you still think like there's like a pretty good chance you might do it. It's like, I maybe could potentially like get a 10-day contract in the NBA. You could convince yourself
Right.
like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I still got good knees, right? Like, but once you hit 30, it's like, nigga, like the dudes who are like old in the NBA when you're 30, like they're your age. You know what I'm saying? Like me, you, and James Harden were born the same year.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro.
And I see James Harden, he be looking old, bro. Like he be looking like kind of hefty.
Hairline starting to creep back, man. Like,
Hey
don't let the
man,
cornrows fool you. Like them braids start a little bit further back every year.
just a smidge, yeah, just a little gray in
Mm-hmm.
that beard. It's a little gray in that beard. Who among us, right? Who among us? But yeah, I think it's the idea that everything is attainable when you're in your 20s. The idea that everything is attainable doesn't feel super crazy. Now when you're 30, it's just like, I don't have time for this shit. I'm not doing that. Like that's my mentality. I'm like, I'm just not gonna do it.
For me, I think it would be just like being able to be irresponsible with my money and
Oh,
with little to no repercussions in the immediate future. Now, down the line, obviously, you pay the price for not being fiscally responsible. Like I go back all the time and look at like per diem checks that I got from working like Little League World Series for 2 weeks at a time and things like that, and just like, hey, I blew that $2,000-3,000 in a weekend or in a month or whatever, just doing crazy shit or doing things that was great in the moment but didn't really last very long when I could have just saved some of that money. If I did four of them, maybe if I would have saved two of them, that's a couple extra $1,000 if I would have invested here. But like I miss not giving a fuck about that. Like being in the moment where you don't give a fuck about those decisions that 30-year-old or 35-year-old you is gonna like want to cuss you out for. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
35-year-old Aaron wants to talk to like 24-year-old Aaron like, you fucking dum dum, put some of this money here or use this money as a down payment on this here, and then it'll be an appreciating value so that down the road you'll be able to have blah blah blah. And like 24-year-old me is just kind of giving me the stiff arm, like
I was
shut the
gonna
fuck
say,
up.
yeah, 24-year-old you's not even letting me finish that statement. He's like, yo, big
He's
dog,
like, he's still gonna-
yo, OG, yo, OG, I'm gonna let you finish.
He's like, shut your old ass up, nigga.
Old broke ass. He's like, damn, son, I'm trying to give you some game, young fella.
What you gonna tuck your baby in, nigga? Fuck. Like, nah, man. Like, this is I miss not really giving a fuck about the things that you really should care about, because it's a luxury that you have in your early age, and everybody goes through it.
Yeah.
I was told so many times by older cousins, older friends, family members, whatever it is, hey, like put some money or pay yourself first, put some money away, do this, do that, and I ignored all of it. And you
It's
look
true.
back at things that could have happened and things that could have been and this and that, like different crossroads, and you're like, man, if I would have listened, maybe I would have been in a little bit of different scenario. Now, luckily, I was able to dig myself out of some of the financial straits that I had put myself in, especially after I had to lost my job. But it was definitely rough for a little bit there, for sure. Hello. You're such a little muffin. Hello, muffin. What's up? Okay. Did you? She's like,
She just popping in.
yeah, you should have seen the smile on her face. She's like, ha ha.
I'll say this because I agree with you, and I'm pretty sure I made worse financial decisions than you had, especially early 20s. Early 20s,
Remains to be seen.
I was just on another level of why would you do this? Like
Right.
the immediate like regret after you spent the money on something stupid was just like, and like you just never learn from it. But here's what I will say about the reason why I don't totally regret all of those experiences is because, like, yes, save money, blah blah blah, whatever. We all understand the intent, the reason why you should be intentional about saving money. But your 20s are for living, man. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, your 20s are for living, right? Like, and that's not to say that your 30s and your 40s and your 50s shouldn't be for living either. But, like, you got to make those mistakes. Now, by the time you get to 27, 28, 29, you should be learning from the mistakes
Right.
that you made when you were 22, 23,
Don't
24.
repeat those mistakes.
Right.
That's what the 20s is like, to give you the mistakes to create that perspective. You know what I mean? Like, how can I tell somebody a lesson to learn if I didn't learn that lesson myself?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it gives you that opportunity to try and pass that knowledge on to the next 20-year-old who's going to ignore you. You know what I mean?
Call you
So,
OG.
it's like a rite of passage. You know, you
Yeah,
pass it
old
down
head
like,
told me, it's like, whoa, hold on now, fella.
right, you know
Hold
what
on
I'm
now,
saying? It's
YN.
like- yeah, I guess they would be calling them YNs
Yeah.
at this point in time. But yeah, let's dive into that as my daughter tries to crash the party again. Let's dive into the dad rules here. Okay, up. You want to be part of dad rules? Okay, my friend. Right. All right. So, well, as we dive in,
Huh?
yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's Malik. Malik. Yes. Yes.
Hi, Aria.
You say hi.
Hi.
So as we dive into to dad rules, featuring my very lovely guest here, let's get the reveal, man. Pull the hat off. Let's see.
Oof.
Let's see the
Well,
work. I wanna see it.
let's get the backstory first.
Okay.
Let's do the backstory. So we had a conversation about how we both needed to cut our hair, and I was like, "Well, you actually cut hair, so for you, it's easy." And you were like, "Oh no, it's fine," because I said I had clippers, I have a liner, I have the magic clip, so I had the tools because I told myself I was going to practice, and I never did. But because I listened to my fellow dad, I was like, you know what? We drop these gems every week. Let me listen to them. Let me try it.
This feels like some blame is coming. I can
No.
feel some blame.
There's no blame. Just like I wouldn't blame you for my bracket, I will not blame you for this. I thank you for this because I needed, one, the confidence to just be like, you know what, just try something and just keep doing it. This is one of those things that I said I was going to do, and I'm glad that I actually stuck with it. It was like, I'm going to do it. Now, it took me about 3 hours to try to cut my hair.
That's one I did forget to mention to you.
Yeah.
The first time I cut my hair, it legitimately took, and it's mostly because I'm a perfectionist, and I was doing my lineup with the clippers because I didn't have edge trimmers, so I took the guard off the clippers and was doing that.
That's crazy.
Between that and a Bic razor to do my lineup for the first year of me cutting my own hair, but it used to take me like at least 3 to 4 hours to cut my hair. I would have to do it in segments.
Yeah. Well, I was also trying to watch a YouTube video, and the setup in the bathroom just wasn't great. I'll
send you some of my favorite YouTube barbers and things like that. They have some really good tricks. And they also cut their own hair.
Yeah. Shout out to the Game Changer, whose video I was watching. He had a tutorial from back in COVID when everybody was trying to figure out how to cut their own hair.
360 Jeezy is one that immediately comes to mind for me because he's one that cuts his own hair. There's another one that is a barber that cuts a lot of other people's hair, but he has dreads, so he doesn't cut or locks, so he doesn't cut his own hair. But 360 Jeezy does cut his own hair, and he's a waver, so he has to be especially careful when he's cutting his hair and cut it a specific way. So he really is another person that he'll give you some good tricks of the trade.
Yeah. So, anywho, we do the cut. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I probably could have just did a Caesar and just, I could have left well enough alone, right? But dude was like, yeah, give yourself a little taper. Give yourself a little taper. So I'm like, I Game Changer. I'm gonna take you up on that. And listen, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so at first I started with this side because I'm right-handed. So I started on this side, and at first I was like, this is not looking good. But then I was able to salvage it. Yeah. Then I go to this side, and now he does make a point. He's like, look, just sometimes you just got to leave it alone. Like, you try to keep being perfect, you're going to make it. You're going to mess it up. Yeah. And I think I maybe tried to do a little too much. And then I just kind of got tired. And I was like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. So I kind of just gave up. So, it's not the worst. It's way better than it was.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, first of all, have the courage to go
Oh,
lower because I know you cut your hair.
My glasses are blocking some of it. So yeah.
No, I mean like on
We're doing the review.
on the top of the skull, because what I like to say is, so the person, my friend Chris Tolan, and shout out to him, my friend from high school, is the one that got me started with this my junior year of high school, because we used to go on barber trips, and stuff. So like all of the black kids that was in the school, which was like 7 of us, we would go to the local barber shop, in Rhode Island where I'm from, and we would, get our hair cut there. But he would never really go with us. And we always thought it was because he couldn't afford it. So he was like, yo, I'll pay for your cut this time. Just come with us. Come get the cut. And he was like, no, I cut my own hair.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for a while. So he kind of, you get down? Okay, I'll get you down. So we like, I just got bold one day. I was like, I'm going to try it. And I did it. And like I said, it took like 3-4 hours. But all that is to say, a guard is only going to cut as low as the guard is set. So if you put a one guard on because you want your hair to get low like a one guard would cut it, then do that. So like, I know you cut your hair shorter than that when you go to the barbershop. Use a lower guard, brother. The taper is going to be hard.
Yeah.
You can be safe with the taper. But when you're going to the length of the top of your head, don't be afraid to go to that low guard.
We did it. I did a 2 guard up top. You know.
Yeah, I can tell. It's definitely, it was definitely longer than you went safe. You went safe.
No, dude. When I picked it out, it was a lot. There was a lot up there. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of hair up there. So yeah, the dad rule here is less of a dad rule, more of a just a confirmation of what we had talked about. Just cut your own hair sometimes.
Rip the Band-Aid, man.
And I will say I am excited to continue to do this so that way I can actually cut Coleman's hair. I want to be the first person to cut his hair. I want to take him to the barbershop. I want to do it.
Boom. There you go. That's what it's about.
But I'm gonna need some barber tutorials for people who wear glasses, because trying to cut your hair without glasses, no contacts.
So you don't have contacts.
Struggle. I'm looking in the mirror. I got the 3-sided mirror here. I got the big mirror here. Yo, man, listen. That's why it took me so long, because I had to switch different mirrors.
So you don't have contacts.
I don't wear contacts. No, it's just glasses.
Yeah, so that's your problem. Like, you can't. I don't want to say can't, because I don't. I don't like to believe in that word, especially amongst my friends. I believe you can do whatever you want to do, King. But like,
all right, Quincy,
bro, you need to invest in at least some contacts, just for this very reason, because you don't want to be cutting your hair blind. You just don't.
Well,
it doesn't make any sense. And then you have right, and then your glasses, especially if you're trying to do a taper, are in a very important region.
Yes. For
the taper, they're like right there at the temple where you would start the taper line. So like, you're not gonna automatically, you're gonna be starting at a deficit, because unless you get like the Morpheus glasses that just kind of sit on the bridge of your nose.
That's what I'm gonna need eventually.
But then they would have to go like 360 around, because there's just so many angles.
Yeah, I've worn contacts, but I'm sorry, I tried to wear contacts, struggled to get them in my eyes, and it just never worked out. And
we'll grow up is what I would tell you. That would be my dad rule. Like, that would be my dad rule. Like 1B, grow up. Get you some contacts.
Tell it to my eyeballs. So that you can cut your hair. Right? they're too dry and they just won't accept the contacts.
Well, that's an excuse. You can get some contact. That's what I want you to work on. Sometime between now and like the end of the summertime, just get you a pair of contacts, and I guarantee you'll see like an immediate difference in
vision. Yes.
There's just so many like when you're and you figured this out now, having done it even the one time, you can see there's so many different angles that you have to get when you're trying to cut your hair and you're trying to like look in the mirror. Like for me, I never did the 3-sided mirror thing. I have one mirror in front, and then I have a hand mirror that I use when I need to cut the back, and I'll just turn around and do it that way. I would say if I'm grading your first haircut compared to what mine was, that's at least 8. That's at least 8.
Grading on the curve.
Hey man, the curve was my lineup when I finished my first haircut. And let me tell you something. So, if you don't have edge trimmers, don't try and line yourself up.
I cannot believe you did that. That's crazy,
bro. Like I look back at and I still have those same clippers to this day. Oh wow! And I still use them when I'm doing my taper, because they're the only zero gapped clippers that I have. My Andis Masters are not zero gapped, but I just look back at like the trenches that I was in, like not only the previous haircuts I was cutting, because I used to cut like my sideburns really fat like Elvis Presley, and then I went through the Reggie Bush phase where you had like the thin chin strap thing, when I was finally starting to get facial hair and shit. I got a couple regrettable college photos like that.
We all look crazy back then.
Insane, bro. Just insane. And it was, I mean, it was real life trenches. But now, we good. Now, I just tell people, if you invest in the equipment in the front end, you will save the money in the back end. So like I might have spent like $300-$400 on my trimmers. But the other end of that is that I haven't gone to a barber to get my haircut since I was like 18. And I'm 35 now. So you're talking about 17 years of, and when we were getting haircuts, by the way, kids, it wasn't $150 for some black gloves and a ring light. You feel me? It was a $20 cut, 25 with tip, maybe 30 if you really like the dude. But like,
I remember when they was going for 10-15, bro.
Exactly. My mom would give me a dub to go to the barbershop. I remember like the barber, sorry mom, but I remember the barber one time, the last time she came with me to the barbershop, the barber purposely told her a higher number because he knew this was going to be the last time she brought me. So he purposely told her a higher number, kind of gave me a little wink or whatever it is, so that now when she sends me to the shop, she'd send me with 20 and he'd be like, it's still 10. And so now I got $10 in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? So like, my barber used to look like those little things, man. That's a real barber. I don't need the black gloves and the ring light and up on your YouTube and Instagram pages and shit like that. Give me a wink and a barber. I still want the dum-dums, man. I want the barber lollipops. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You give somebody a haircut, it should come with a lollipop.
This is true. Something. I mean, order some pizza or something. I mean, we hungry.
I mean,
Lord, at the very least, had a bootleg. They don't even do that no more. They be having the bootleg movies in there no more.
None of that shit. They don't. It's just that you lose some of the personal touches with these new specialized, personalized barbers and things like that. Everybody thinks they're a specialist now. Everybody thinks that they're, a celebrity barber now. Whatever, bro. Show me your work. My dad rule is for these people at sporting events. I see it all too often. Working in the arenas that I work in. Stop sending your goddamn kids to get the autographs that you want. Cut it out. You're not low. We know what you're doing. Okay? We know. The athlete knows. The people who are recording you on camera know. The people in the control. There are other fans that know. Your kid, your 3-year-old, does not give a shit about a Trae Young autograph. I can tell you that right now. I promise you. Doesn't care. Stop with the song and dance. If you want that person's autograph, you want that man's autograph, go down there and ask for your autograph. Don't bring your kid to be like, hey, can you sign my kid's favorite baseball cap? Like, so that's not his favorite. You know what I mean?
You want to leave the kid in the stands?
I want you to be confident enough to go and get your own goddamn autograph. Okay. That's what I want.
Fair enough.
Yeah, just go get your own autograph. Stop using your kids as vessels to get the things that you want. Hiding behind your adorable child to get an autograph that you're going to try and then turn around and sell on eBay is the lowest of low. That's low.
That's the difference. That's definitely.
Yeah.
But Trae Young, you're going to say no to my 3-year-old kid? Like, now you're the jerk. Now you're the terrible person, Trae Young.
Well, that's the thing, is that they're not going to say no because you don't want to be that asshole that,
I will put you on the internet for just
put you on the Summer Jam screen, son.
Yeah.
Man up. Go ask for that man's autograph.
Yeah.
Stop being scary. Unbelievable, man. But we appreciate everybody, man. We appreciate all of you guys for rocking with us here on the No Rules podcast. It's a pleasure being able to do this every single week. With you, my guy.
Of course.
Put this out for you, the people that do watch us and that do give us the clicks and the likes and the subscribes and everything. We appreciate all you guys for rocking with us on a weekly basis. It's been another episode of the No Rules podcast.
Peace y'all.